Good afternoon, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Jackson Zell, and welcome to the Weather Show. Today we got a lot in store for you, so let's dive right in. Here we got a live look over Doak Campbell Stadium. It's been a beautiful day outside. It's currently outside 71 degrees. It's been feeling really nice outside. It's been feeling like fall actually, so you can bring out some of your cardigans. And then taking a look around the region, we got 60s, high 60s around the board, low 70s here in Tallahassee and Perry as well. Taking a look at the current dew points. It's pretty dry out there right now. We have a lot of dry, cold air. That's really what's helping us make it feel so nice outside, make it feel like fall out there. No rain on the radar, so you should be good. Don't need an umbrella or anything like that. And then taking a look at what's going to be going on throughout the rest of the show. We're going to be talking about it's finally fall. We're going to be talking about one of the national parks, or the national park segment today of Bryce Canyon National Park, and then all the fantastic fall foliage that you can see all throughout the United States. Now we're going to take things over to the desk.
Yes, thank you, Jackson. We have a great show for you here tonight. We have really chilly weather. It's actually pretty nice out for once in a while.
That's right. Of course, this past late weekend and then into today or so, and actually, Tuesday, we've had that cooler air in place across Tallahassee with a low of 44 degrees. Now, that was at the airport, I believe so, but still, nonetheless, really cold even here in Tallahassee.
Yeah, it definitely has been. We're expecting one more really chilly night tonight, so if you all want to go outside, definitely bring a jacket and dress to be warm.
That's right, but we'll talk about that and much more here on the show. But Jackson will take things off here with a live look at Doak. So Jackson, how's the look outside?
It looks fantastic outside. We're not seeing any rain right now in the area. It's been really feeling like fall, and I've been loving it. I've actually been able to wear jeans and a hoodie to classes, so it's been feeling great. 71 right here in Tallahassee. Looks like 68 really, especially up to North Georgia, is really with the coldest areas within our region. So it's been feeling really nice outside. And taking a look at the temperature almanac, our average this time of year is 82. So this is definitely a nice little surprise. Nice fall came early, thankfully. Nowhere near that record high of 90. We don't want any of that. We're tired of it being here in Florida, and then 33 back in 1977. We're not going to get that cold, though, thankfully. And then taking a look at the current dew points, most of the region really just like we've been talking about, that all that dry air. It's been really making it cold and really feel like fall outside. It's been really nice. Future satellite and radar, going into the overnight tonight and into tomorrow, we're not expecting any rain. That dry weather is really going to suppress any clouds and any rain that could form. And then taking a look at tonight in Tallahassee, it'd be 47 tonight. It's going to be a little chilly. So if you're doing some late night studying in Dirac or Stroger, make sure to pack a sweatshirt so when you walk outside, it's going to be pretty nippy out there, I would say. And taking a look at tonight's forecast, 47 in Thomasville. It's going to be chilly, 50 in Tallahassee, and then as you get closer to the coast, it will be a little bit warmer in Carabel, 53, Apalachicola, 52. Still really nice conditions. And then tomorrow, taking a look at Landis Green right now, 76 here on campus. For us, it's going to be nice and sunny. A little warm up from what we saw today. Today, we saw temperatures. I think our max temperature today was around 69 at the airport, 68. So 76 will be a little bit warmer than what we saw today. Winds coming out of the east-northeast at 4 miles an hour. So it's going to be a nice day. So if you want to go outside, I know we have Market Wednesday tomorrow, which we'll talk about more in the lifestyle. That'd be a great thing to do and go enjoy this weather while we can. Taking a look into tomorrow's forecast, 76, like we said, in Tallahassee. Still pretty cold, chilly in 73 in Thomasville, really nice conditions, and 73 down here in Carabel and 76 in Perry. So really nice conditions. We are going to see our area flatter and flirt with a little bit with those 80 degrees. We could see some rain on Friday. Some folks in our area could see rain. It won't really be a main issue. We'll have to keep an eye on it as we get into Thursday, though, because it could put a damper on any Friday night activities you got going on. And then Saturday for the Florida State game versus Duke, it's going to be a nice 80 degrees. And then I know the kickoff's not till 7 o'clock, and so that's going to be 56 for the low. So it's going to feel really nice when we're out there for the game, and hopefully the Noles will win and beat the Blue Devils. I'm taking a look into Monday and Tuesday as well, 80s and 81s. And then now we're going to zoom out of Tallahassee and take a greater look with Nico at Florida.
Yes, thank you, Jackson. We're definitely going to be dealing with that front right before the game, but the game should be nice. But looking around Florida, look how nice and cool it is. You may see the sun, but the temperatures are in the low 70s to the upper 60s. Tampa's at 68. Miami is our warm spot at 73. This front even got all the way through Miami, but it is going to warm up pretty quickly, as I've seen already. But looking around the state today, we're dealing with temperatures from the upper 60s through the low 70s, mid 70s in the Keys, mid 70s in West Palm Beach. Up here in Tallahassee, it's only 69 degrees, and Jacksonville is already down to 67, one of our chilliest days of the year so far. But as we take a look around the state, you can see that this chilly spell is not going to last very long, as we're already expected to be in the mid 80s again tomorrow in Miami, and by Friday it's going to be 86. It's going to get pretty warm pretty quickly. Tampa, you're looking at more of the same story, 80 degrees tomorrow, and then dealing with low to mid 80s on Thursday and Friday as well, but it should stay dry in Tampa. Orlando, pretty much the same, low 80s all week long, all the way through Friday. You're not going to deal with any precipitation in the Orlando area either. As you get up further north, though, towards Jacksonville, it's a little bit cooler. 74 tomorrow. It's going to be nice. Almost 80 on Thursday at 79. Friday, though, we're dealing with the chance of showers and thunderstorms. If you're going to be out and about in northeastern Florida on Friday, the weak front will be able to affect you in northeastern Florida, so definitely keep that in mind when you're making plans on Friday. But it should be through in time for the weekend. Pensacola, it doesn't really look like the front's going to affect you at all. In fact, it actually gets warmer and drier in the western Florida panhandle by Friday. So definitely if you want to go out to the beach, that's a good day to do so. But looking around Florida right now, you can see there's no clouds, there's no rain. It's a dry day, it's a cool day. So if you want to be outside, if you like the cool weather, today's a good day to do it. Anywhere in Florida, you can only see some clouds off in the Atlantic and off in the Gulf behind me, but none over the state of Florida right now at the moment. Same story in Central Florida. You're not dealing with any clouds or precipitation. It's completely sunny out, and it's going to stay that way until the sun sets, and it's going to be a clear night as well. Up here in northern Florida, we're dealing with more of the same. We're not seeing anything in the way of clouds or precipitation over northern Florida as well. It's going to stay this way all the way through tomorrow, all the way through the day tomorrow. It's going to stay sunny, maybe a few clouds on Thursday and some showers along the eastern coast, but we're not expecting anything up here in Tallahassee. But looking around Florida tonight, one more chilly night is expected, a low 50 in Tallahassee, but I think we're going to probably get into the 40s and then in the 60s around the rest of the state. Tomorrow, we're going to deal with highs in the 70s, pretty much anywhere north of I-4. South of I-4 is going to be in the 80s, and it's going to warm up quickly. And then by Thursday, we're going to be pretty close to 80 around the entire state, 76 here in Tallahassee tomorrow. But now I'm going to send things off to Aaron.
Thanks, Nico. So, folks, the big story here, not just in Florida, but the rest of the Southeast, has just been the cooler than average weather here across the area, with 60s here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Look at that, the fall foliage here behind in the background starting to pop up there. So really bright colors, really a fun time to see, of course, this time of year with that oranges and those reds here on the trees. Tampa, different story here in terms of the fall foliage, but the temperature is not that different. 68 degrees over Tampa right now. Nashville, 59 with those clouds moving through, and then New Orleans at 71 degrees as well, but also clear there. So the brighter, or the overall view across the Southeast, we have the big old high pressure here off to the northern portions of Mississippi here. What it's doing is giving this kind of this clockwise flow around it and allowing that cooler, drier air to sink right through into Florida, in our area, and then down the peninsula of Florida, which is why even Tampa and South Florida even got into the 50s last night. So pretty chilly for this time of year, but also as a consequence of the high pressure as well, no rain on the radar here at the current hour. Current temperatures, at least for the rest of the region here, so a little bit warmer as you get over towards the west here. So Shreveport 74, 71, and New Orleans 74 in Little Rock as well. Cooler as you get over towards the Appalachians, 59 in Nashville, 64 in Atlanta, but sunny, and also that extends downwards across the Panhandle and the peninsula of Florida here, with upper 60s near 70 here near Orlando. Current winds are also generally out of the north, as I was mentioning earlier, around that high pressure area stationed just off to the west here, giving us that really pleasant light breeze as well out of the north currently. So weekday weather map here over the next several days or so, several hours. We expect that chill down tonight until tomorrow. Pretty similar setup as today, with those temperatures warming into the 70s. It's not until we get towards Friday and Saturday where we have the next chance of seeing perhaps our next rainmaker. Might bring a few showers here across Tallahassee until we have another surge of cooler air behind it. May not be as strong as this time, but still nonetheless, we're not at least below average or so, especially just in time, of course, for the Duke game. So I'm going to cast this right now over into the rest of the week or so. We have those temperatures dropping down into the 50s, which is that drier air. That more moist air stays off to our south and our west here, but kind of see the numbers starting to rise behind my shoulder here. Those numbers will begin to creep up here over the next several days or so. If you're perhaps are planning a trip out to Charlotte this week here, expect those temperatures to stay really nice and lovely here into the 70s. May go down to this low into the upper 60s here by Friday with some of those rain-cooled effects, but otherwise really pleasant there. Nashville, also pretty similar story. Those temperatures staying in the 70s to near, or lower 70s to near the upper 60s or so. And then New Orleans, a very pleasant day out there if you're heading out to NOLA, perhaps go out on Bourbon Street, etc. Have fun there, of course.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Yeah, actually, we're now going to take a trip, speaking of dry air, to one of the second driest state in the United States, over to Bryce Canyon National Park in Utah. So we got a lot of cool stuff going on over there at the national park. So here's some fun facts for you. It was originally established in 1923. The park is celebrating its 100th birthday this year, so happy early birthday to them. And then they also have the largest concentration of hoodoos on Earth, which basically, if you're unaware what a hoodoo is, I just learned this a couple of minutes ago. It's basically a weathered rock sculpture that forms naturally in nature, and it's pretty cool. We'll actually have a picture of it up here in a second. And then from October to May, temperatures fall below freezing nearly every night, so it gets really cold, especially in the southern portion of Utah there. There's a lot of deserts going on. And then taking a look at our temperatures for today at the national park, at a high of 78 today, a little warmer than what we're used to seeing this time of year. 67s are an average. 80, thankfully, nowhere near 84, especially if you're going out in the park, doing some hiking, looking at all the hoodoos. Definitely wasn't that hot. Our low tonight is going to be around 48, so if you're doing any camping, it will be a little chilly, but thankfully nowhere near that 16 degrees in 1999. That is so cold. I could not imagine that in October here in Tallahassee. And then here we go right here is one of those hoodoos. So this is basically one of those hoodoos we were talking about there, the naturally formed weathered rock sculptures. Pretty cool in my opinion. And then tonight's conditions, 54 there at the national park. And then taking a look at the region, what's going to be going on. We see here, as we get closer to Nevada, Alton, 73. Boulder, 73 as well, and then Angle, Utah, 76, and 82 in Milford. A little bit warmer as you go a little bit north in the state, get closer to Salt Lake City. Taking a look at the dew points. This is exactly why we said this is the second driest state in the United States behind Nevada. Look at those dew points, 29, 27, 26, 30, 22 in Milford, 25 in Beaver. It's super dry conditions out there. I can't imagine that in Tallahassee, but I mean, y'all live out there and y'all are used to that. So I'm sure that's nothing new to y'all. And taking a look at our current radar and satellite, since we do have a lot of the drier air, not really anything going on our radar and satellite. And then future radar, don't really have much going on as well. And then looking into the week ahead, pretty normal temperatures as well. But one thing we don't see in Utah is some fall foliage. So we're going to pass it over to Des to talk about some of that beautiful fall foliage.
That looks really nice there, Jackson. And yeah, as you mentioned, speaking of the colorfulness here, we're going to talk about trees and the fall foliage across much of the southeast now, creeping up into, of course, our area eventually, but of course it takes its time, right?
Yeah, it definitely does. And we don't always get to see the full effect of it down in Florida as we do further up north due to the fact that we don't get quite as cold, quite as early up down here.
That's right. And of course, as fall days get shorter, the production of chlorophyll slows, revealing the true color of the leaves, which is that nice orange, reddish color, really pleasant, of course, to the eyes to see, right?
Yeah, it's definitely really cool to see, and maybe if we can get cold enough, we'll get more here. But as you look at your map from September 4th, you can see, this was on Labor Day, you can see that it's very much up in the northern part of the country and not far south at all. Like, you had to be right at the Canadian border to see it that early in the season.
That's right, and of course, as time goes on here, eventually, as we get towards October 16th or so, we're right around where we're at, we see that a lot more expansion of that fall foliage here, and even creeping up to central Georgia. So our turn will be soon. Maybe not as bright as places up north might see, but you know what? It's still changing colors, right?
Yeah, it definitely will a little bit here in Tallahassee, but not as much as if you go up to the Appalachians, where they're already dealing with starting to get towards their peak of fall foliage in mid-October.
That's right. And actually, yesterday it snowed in the Appalachians too, so it made it even look nicer too with the white covering all the fall foliage there.
Yeah,
but
I definitely saw that.
Right. So, of course, as we go towards Halloween or so, October 30th or so, we actually do kind of get into that smaller, relatively fall foliage here. So it's still possible here in Florida, right?
Yeah, it definitely is, and that's only about 13 days out from here. We may start to see the leaves change over just a little bit here.
That's right. We'll have to be on the lookout there for that. But we will turn things over and kind of switch gears here, talking about the tropics with Jackson. So, Jackson, what is out there right now?
You know, we don't have much going on right now in the tropics, but we actually do, surprisingly, even though it's pretty late in the season, hurricane season is not officially over yet, we still got one more area of interest out there. It's kind of doing its own little thing. It could develop, we're not really sure. We're a little bit of ways out. We'll get into there in a bit. So here we can see the cone of the area where it could possibly develop, and it's really, looks like it's honing in on that lesser island, that region, if it does form into something. It has a 70% chance of forming the next 2 days and 80% chance in the next 7 days. So we'll definitely have to keep our eye on it. It's something that's going to be happening later this week into early next week. So make sure to stay tuned for that, for more information about it. And then take a look at some of the spaghetti models. They really have this low pressure system right now, not a tropical storm, not a hurricane, and nothing right now. It would be Tropical Storm Tammy, though, if it does form into something. A lot of our models have it kind of staying north of the Caribbean islands and north of Puerto Rico as well. I know Puerto Rico does not need another hurricane right now. It's the last thing they need. They're still a hurricane, really trying to do better with Hurricane Maria and recover from that as well. So thankfully our models right now are showing the northward track, and we should be good on that. And then taking up the energy in the water right now, it's pretty warm waters right now, so it should be pretty good to develop, but hopefully it stays north of Puerto Rico and the Caribbean islands. Now we're going to pass it off to Aaron.
Thanks, Jackson. So we'll actually take things back over towards the stateside here as we go over what's going on, of course, across the nation here weather-wise, as, of course, we have that cooler air off to the east and that warmer air off to the west. So Roach Harbor, Washington, 56 degrees under that cloudy skies. Doesn't look very enjoyable to be over there. It looks kind of miserable, so to speak. Boston, Massachusetts, 55, but that sun's kind of peeking through the overcast skies there, so maybe might see a little bit of a sunset there. We'll cross fingers crossed there. Miami, same story, 75 degrees, but without the clouds. And then Boulder, Colorado, 81 degrees. Hard to believe, though, right? This time of year, you would normally think Colorado would actually be cooler than here in Florida, so kind of wild. And the reason why we have that is because we have that trough that's digging down to the south, bringing that cooler air right here behind my shoulder here, and then we have that warmer air coming in from Mexico, and that's what it's doing. It's allowing kind of for that more warmer conditions over the western portions of the U.S., and then that cooler conditions off to the east coast of the U.S. Likewise, too, we had those dew points dropping across the eastern U.S. as well. We had those 40s across the majority of eastern portions of the Mississippi River here. And what that's allowing us to, at least to feel, is the temperature actually feels closer to the actual ambient temperature. So it feels really nice outside at this current hour. It actually feels closer to what the actual temperature really is or so. And then, of course, all over towards the Intermountain West, staying dry as per usual. Now, as we look over the broader satellite and radar across the nation, we have a little bit of a swirl coming out of Canada here, moving down off towards the east-southeast or so. What I'll do is it might bring perhaps a few showers or so, and maybe even a snow flurry as well or two over near Montana and the Rockies as it eventually moves over towards the northern plains or so. It might bring another shot of cold air over towards the northern portions of the U.S. or so. And eventually we'll have to watch to see kind of how that interacts, of course, with our weather later on in the week with that cold front coming through the area. Rainfall forecast, pretty reflective on that area of low pressure off to the north, especially around the Great Lakes and most off to the north or so. Some of these rain bands here, or I should say these little rain droplets picking up here on the model here kind of indicate where we might have that cold front coming through later on this week. So we might have to watch for perhaps maybe up to about a half an inch or so across the Big Bend area. Now, SPC storm outlook looks really clean or very dry, or excuse me, looks very clear here across the evening. We only have the general non-severe risk across the north and southern U.S. Tomorrow, pretty similar story as well. And as we make it into your 3-day outlook, we have that just around the Mississippi River or so. So again, very nice conditions. No, at least we don't have to expect any kind of severe weather over the short term. Tomorrow's temperature is looking really nice and pleasant. We're starting to warm up a little bit, though, across the east as we have that moderating effect across the east coast of the U.S. But tell us more about that southwestern drought, Nico.
Yes, thank you, Aaron. We're going to be dealing with a different type of hazard in the desert southwest right now. I'm waiting for the graphic to load. There it is. You can see that since last week this has gotten worse. It has expanded. We're dealing with a major drought across parts of the southwest, across parts of Louisiana as well. And they're not going to see much relief anytime soon, unfortunately, either. Looking at your current temperatures, at least they're not in the 90s anymore, because that's going to add more fuel to the fires. But now the temperatures are down in the 70s and the 80s, but when your dew points are really low, you're still going to be dealing with the threat of wildfires anyway. Your dew points right now, San Angelo's at 37, Austin, Texas at 38, Dallas at 36, Shreveport, New Orleans, and Louisiana are in the 40s. Out further west, drought's not as bad, but 22-degree dew point in Santa Fe is rather low and very, very dry. And as you can see, don't see anything in the way of precipitation that is helping anywhere except for a few showers in northern Mexico and along the New Mexico-Arizona border. That's not going to do much to put any kind of dent in this drought. Neither is the weather over the next couple days. As you can see, barely a cloud in the sky tomorrow, and it stays that way all day tomorrow except maybe a few isolated upper level clouds, and that's about it. And we're not going to see any rainfall really over the next couple days either, so this drought is going to get worse, unfortunately, as the rain does skip over this drought area. But some tips: definitely conserve water. You want to practice fire prevention, don't burn when it's dry, and follow any directions from local officials. Now I'm going to pass things off to Jackson.
Thank you so much, Nico, for telling us everything about the drought. And here in Tallahassee in the Big Bend region, we are pretty dry, but thankfully nowhere near as dry as over there in Texas and Louisiana. Some pretty tough conditions out there. Hopefully they'll get some rain. Taking a look around campus right now, taking around the Tallahassee area, we got cameras at the Sportplex, Panama City, and Lake Bradford, and St. George Island. Beautiful sunset out there that's forming right now over the lake or the Sportsplex in Panama City. So if you're out on the beach, definitely take it in, take a lot of photos, and post it on Instagram for sure. It'll be a really beautiful night. Taking a look at the airport, TLH, Tallahassee Airport, no delays right now. So thankfully, if you've got a late night flight tonight, you should be good to go. You shouldn't have to worry about any travel delays and making your connections either in Atlanta, Miami, wherever you're traveling to. And looking at across the country, no delays. We're not seeing a lot of rain right now at the time being, so no delays across the country. So that's been pretty nice if you're traveling. And then taking a look at the pollen, this is one thing that's really been tough in the past couple of weeks and the last month especially, but thankfully today all the pollen, grass, weeds, and trees have been pretty low. So it's been pretty nice outside. It might be a little dry, so if you get like a nosebleed or something, always prepare for that. But thankfully no pollen. You're not all stuffy. Don't need any Sudafed. And then taking a look at the dog walk forecast. Look at that cute little pup right by the beach. Beautiful sunset. You can actually send us a picture of your dog at the sunset tonight if you're out there. Please do that. And then taking a look at the tomorrow morning, 48 if you're going to be out there walking your dog. Pretty chilly, definitely bring a coat, but warming up nicely at 11 a.m. to 66. And then for stargazing tonight, it's going to be pretty fair conditions. There are some clouds in the air, so it could block your view a little bit from seeing some of the stars. So it should be pretty nice out there. And then we got FSU soccer, the number 1 FSU soccer playing Pittsburgh on Thursday. It'd be 78 degrees when the game starts and partly cloudy. That's going to be home here, so make sure to show out and cheer on for your Lady Noles at 7 p.m. And then we actually got the circus as well. It's indoors, but you kind of feel the temperature outside on Thursday. It's going to be 78, so it's sort of right next to each other. You can go to both at the same time. They're both at 7 p.m., so make sure to both attend those events and support FSU Noles. And then we got FSU volleyball versus Boston College. It's going to be here in the Tully Gym on Friday. We got a sport-packed week this week. And then take a look at Saturday. We got FSU football, number 4 ranked in the AP polls, playing Duke. Primetime matchup at 7:30, so it's going to be a really fun game to watch. Then take a look at the beach camp. It's going to be really nice out there. Make sure to still wear that sunscreen, though, because it is pretty, the sun's still out, and it is pretty warm still. And then take a look at the beach forecast tomorrow if you're heading over there. Make sure to, like I was saying, pack that sunscreen, but it might be a little chilly in the morning. Now we're going to take things back to Nico to look at one more time at the local forecast.
Yes, thank you, Jackson. We're going to look at our local to close out the show, but first we're looking at our weekdays. The next few days, Friday's going to be the one day to watch this week for showers and storms. But taking a look at Doak Campbell Stadium right now, you can see the sunset. It's about to go down. It's going to be really nice sunset. It's sunny skies. We don't see any clouds in the sky on this camera right now. We have a slight north-northwesterly breeze, which is bringing in cool air right now. But right now, looking around the southeast, around our local radar, we're dealing with dry weather all across Florida. We're not seeing anything in the way of clouds. We're not seeing anything in the way of rain either. And it's going to stay that way all evening. It's looking like the temperatures are pretty nice as well. 71 here in Tallahassee is actually one of the warmest spot in the area, with 70 in Marianna being the next warmest. Around the rest of the area, we're dealing with temperatures from 66 to 69 in the upper 60s. And it feels really nice outside this evening for sure. And the dew points is part of the reason why it feels so nice outside. We're not dealing with the heat and humidity. We're dealing with dew points in the mid-40s across most of the area. Our warmest or highest dew point right now is in Quincy at 50, and even that's still pretty dry for this time of the year. And it's going to stay that way all evening long. And as you look over the next day or so, tomorrow we're looking at more of the same. It's going to stay dry all day. We're not looking at any clouds, and it's going to stay sunny all day. It's going to get warmer though, so definitely be prepared for that. But tonight, 47 degrees, it's going to be really chilly outside. At least we aren't going to have to deal with any breezes that's going to make it feel even chillier. But if you want to go out tonight, that 47 degrees is going to be one of our coolest nights of the fall so far. And you can see that on this map. It's in the 40s pretty much everywhere. Looking at 50 in Tallahassee on here, but I think it's going to get closer to 47 with radiational cooling expected tonight, because we're going to have no clouds in the sky. We're not going to have any winds. So if anything, we're actually going to get a bit cooler than that. So be prepared for that if you're going to be out tonight. Tomorrow, if you like the warm weather, that's when you want to go out. It's going to be up at 76, and we're not going to be dealing with any winds really that were going to be noticeable. Looking around our area tomorrow, however, mid-70s pretty much area-wide, 76 here in Tallahassee, closer to 73, 74 along the coast. Southern Georgia, you're dealing with temperatures of 73 to 75. And as we take a look at our week ahead, we start with our coolest morning tomorrow at 47. One more cool night Wednesday night around 50. Thursday, we're up at 79. Friday, we have a weak front. We're not going to really see much difference in temperatures. We are going to see a difference in the dew points. It's going to get drier this weekend, but we're going to be dealing with showers and maybe an isolated thunderstorm, and then in the 80s all the way into the beginning of next week. But now I'm going to send things off to the closing desk with Aaron and Jackson.
Thanks, Nico. And did I see 80 degrees there on the 7-day?
Oh, I hope not. I hope we stay on that lower end of those 80 degrees and don't go back up to those 81s. I've been really enjoying these 76 and these 40s and 50s in the morning.
I have too. I really enjoyed those temperatures in the 40s, of course, as you just mentioned, and just having to bring a jacket. For the first time, I guess it's my second day. Yesterday I wore a sweater too to class, but it actually felt really nice to kind of put on the jeans, put on the sweater. For the first time since at least last spring.
Yeah, it feels so nice outside. So you can wear that cardigan if you're going to the movie theaters this weekend and you're seeing Taylor Swift Aerosaur. But make sure to follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/FSU Weather.
Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather.
And make sure to watch us live. If you're watching us right now, you're watching us at www.com/FSU Weather. Sorry.
Also, follow us on Instagram, where you can send those the sunset or sunrise pictures there at FSU Weather.
And make sure to follow us on TikTok. Send us an ad if you see any cool weather, or you got a cool sunset picture. Make sure to follow us on FSU Weather on TikTok.
That's right. Of course, a lot of great content on there too to kind of stay up to date with FSU Weather and all things weather as well. But have a great night, folks. We'll wrap things up in the show, and have a great night.
Yeah, have a great night. We'll take one more look at the 7-day.